And we're live, everyone.
And cheers, y'all. Cheers, everybody.
Here's with my imaginary cup of coffee.
What happened to your
Yeah.
matcha?
I ate it all.
You ate it?
I ate my matcha overnight oats.
Ooh. Oh, I thought you ate your matcha tea. I was like, how'd you eat tea? But I get it. That makes more sense.
So let's do a quick intro here, guys. So we are here with Coach Mike, Chuck, Kelsey, and myself. We're going to be cooking live with you guys here on Amazon Live, along with Facebook and YouTube. So, guys, we're all making different recipes, and we're going to be cooking to show a little bit of a meal prep and how we do it. Mike, you want to take over and introduce yourself first, and then we'll kind of go around the squares?
Yeah, so I'm so excited. First off, I just want to thank everybody from Gina to Chuck to Kelsey for taking the time to do this. If you guys enjoy this, please let us know so that I can show Chuck especially and Pina that you guys love seeing them on the live streams because I still don't believe it. And I want to do the same thing for Kelsey. But I'm Coach Mike, taker of names, kicker of butts, as we've kind of had this nice intro. Also, Gina likes to call me Sir Mike a lot, and I kind of want that to be my intro now every time.
Sir Mike, I got you, Mike.
Yeah, that's what I want to. I'm gonna have to change my name here at the bottom, but I'm really excited because I'm actually the founder of Lifestyle of Fitness, LOF. Chuck is my business partner. Yeah, Chuck. Kelsey's our nutrition coach. I'm like introducing everyone else, and you guys are still gonna introduce yourselves. I don't know why I'm just going on tangents here. But
I'm just commentating.
Yeah, so I have my backgrounds in not only personal training, health and wellness, physio, all that fun stuff, health coaching. I recently got my health coach certification I'm super excited about, but I'm also a retired professional fighter and athlete. So I'm going to blend together with my meal prep things that first, I'm even going to meal prep breakfast. So I'm going to start with that. And everything I try and bring to the table are simple things that you can do. So if you're a fighter, you're a college student, you're someone that's like not having a lot of time, or you're an entrepreneur, business person, whatever, mom, parent, I want to have simple options, but also effective options that are also going to taste pretty good and have a relatively low cost. So that's a little bit about me and kind of what I'm going to try and do and what I'm going to be throwing down. So we've got French toast. We've got a nice little pot roast right here in the Instapot. I'm going to be doing some chickpeas that are going to have some nice flavor and some kick to them, air fried and toasted. And I'm also going to be making some delicious coffee because that's the first thing I always have to make when I get started with my meal prep. So having said all that, I'm going to take it back to you and then we'll see who we got next.
So next up, let's go with Kelsey. Kelsey, you want to, here we go. Introduce yourself. Tell us what you do.
Yeah, I'm Kelsey. Obviously, I have a background in nutrition. I also have a culinary background. I work right now with like a wellness resort retreat center, doing a lot of like, wellness type of cooking and cooking with intention, a lot of this stuff. So I'm going to be making one of my favorite things, which is a kale chickpea salad. On a second shift, I always try to have food that's like readily available. If I get home, 9 o'clock and I'm hungry, or right before work, right at time. And also I'm going to be making some baked egg frittatas. These are super easy. You can microwave less than a minute. They're ready to go. A great thing to have when you're getting to the gym and you're ready to go to work.
Okay, awesome. That sounds really awesome. I didn't know you could make egg frittatas in the microwave.
In the oven, but then to reheat them, you microwave them.
Oh, okay. I think you might make them in the microwave. See, haha.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to head over and introduce Sir Chucks.
Sir Chucks is already in the mix over here. So, yeah. Hi, everybody. Number one, I still don't believe Mike and Gina, but I appreciate everybody's support. Right now, a little bit about my background. I've been in the health and wellness field for quite some time. Mike's partner.
30 years.
Mike's, what was that, Mike?
30 years? I was just coughing. Excuse me, 30 years.
Thanks for showing my age.
Super loud, yeah, I was going to say.
Between personal training, nutrition coach, strength and conditioning, I'm also an avid jiu-jitsu practitioner, husband, father of two, professional, vice president within my company. So what we're doing today, because our lives are so busy, my wife is actually over in the corner here smiling, helping me out. Here she's going to pop her head in. Hey, everybody, that's Pina. That's my wife. I'm meal prepping right now for both of us. We dialed in our macronutrients. Both of us have very specific goals. So what we're doing is we're meal prepping lunches and dinners throughout the course of the week. Specific macronutrients for Pina, specific macronutrients for myself. We're doing a vaca frita in the Insta pot. We're doing some chicken thighs. We're doing some chicken breasts. We're doing some veggies and sweet potatoes. All the goodness.
Yes. All right. So now, guys, I think we just start cooking.
So the one thing I wanted to throw out is, and G, maybe you can do this or go around into the chat and drop this link. But also, fun fact, in our link tree, we have our email newsletter sign up. So I've started to now send out on a weekly basis our live streaming schedule. If you guys want to be a part of that, what I'll do is if you guys want the recipes that we're cooking for either Chuck, Kelsey, myself, you can actually join our newsletter, and I'll send a highlight and a recap of our favorite go-to recipes. And on that newsletter, if you want to request anything in particular, you can always reach out to us, because like we did our workout yesterday, I sent out that schedule. I sent out what we're going to be doing so you guys can prepare ahead of time. Just a fun little plug there. I thought that could be fun.
Okay. I'll see you, Mike.
Yes. And then the first thing I'm going to be doing, I don't know about you guys, the most important thing for me is making coffee. So I'm using my Ninja coffee brewer right now to actually make my nice, fresh, hot cup of coffee. I had 1 cup left over from last night that I ended up microwaving. So right now I'm getting my coffee brewed up. And the thing that's my favorite about the Ninja Brew and the frother is the fact that it comes with a frother. So I'll get fancy. I'll throw in my unsweetened almond milk, 30 calories per cup. So that's 8 ounces. You get 30 calories. It's protein and fat. There's nothing crazy on carbs. Not that carbs are the enemy, so to speak, but I personally don't like to have a tremendous amount of carbs with my coffee. I like the fat and the protein personally. And just being able to froth it up, getting that nice flavor and kick, and then I'll even add in, I'll highlight it right now, I'll add in some protein to my coffee. I'm curious, let me know in the chat if you guys are a fan of protein in your coffee, or Kelsey and Chuck, do you guys think I'm crazy? I throw protein in my coffee. What do you guys think about that?
Pina's thrown the protein in her coffee. I've never done it, but Pina's done it.
I've done it.
Yeah.
Funny you said that because my protein powder is coffee flavored and it has caffeine.
Oh.
She went straight for the protein flavored coffee.
She's gonna have coffee with coffee flavored protein. That's a good idea. Do you also put like a coffee flavored like creamer in there too, just to triple it up?
Yeah.
Just leveling it.
I make my protein. I'll do like I'll do almond milk. I'll make type of like plant-based creamer in there too. During like the holidays, I was doing like the peppermint ones. I was making like spice peppermint mochas. I was doing some pumpkin spice ones.
Ooh, fancy.
I like it. So G, I'm gonna season my chicken thighs right now.
What are you using to season it?
We've got a special deal going today with my friends over at Dude's Gourmet. If you use meal-based prep, you get $10 off an order of 50. So we've got all different kinds of seasoning. This guy's a seasoning genius, and I've got way too many seasonings on the table right now. I'm gonna tell you, my favorite is the honey chipotle, so that's definitely going on some of these chicken thighs. But G, I'm gonna let you pick the other seasoning, and I'm gonna let you choose between lemon pepper, Korean, El Diablo, or Flippin' the Bird.
What was the last one?
It's called Flippin' the Bird.
What's the Flippin' the Bird? Like, what's in it?
Flippin' the Bird has got a bunch of sage, smoked paprika, chili powder, lemon peel, onion powder, black pepper, honey, and celery seed.
Gotta be honest though, Diablo is screaming to me. El Diablo is screaming.
El Diablo is just—he's angry. He's ready to do some damage to you.
Oh wow!
He's ready to go. All right, El Diablo.
What's in it though? Tell us what's in it.
She wants to know.
Tell me.
Oh, what's in it? El
Diablo? What's in it? Pina heard me.
Organic lime, onion, black pepper, garlic, molasses, sea salt, ancho, shallots, chipotle, brown mustard, guajillo, and cayenne pepper.
I am so glad I went with that one. I love anything with lime. I am a lime person. Some cilantro, lime rice, a little bit of lime on the chicken. You know, that I like that zestiness to it. I don't know why, but I'm obsessed with lime.
There's lime going into that vaca frita. You know there is.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to come pick some up from you guys. All right, just add an extra person to the list. Do your kids eat this too, Chuck? Do they eat along with you guys, or this is just for you and Fina?
That would be a hell no, G. As Carmelo is just starting, he'll probably try the vaca frita. He's just venturing out into the whole steak and ribs world.
Really?
Yeah. He's just starting to get into. He likes steak. He likes steak a lot. He's just venturing into the whole rib atmosphere. Ava is more of a pizza, hot dogs, and chicken nuggets personality.
Okay. Let me ask you: were they always picky eaters? Was there a turning point? What defined their palate? Would you say what they like?
I don't know where we went wrong as parents because when they were babies, they ate everything I cooked, everything.
Yeah.
And then maybe influence of these other children in their lives. Mm-hmm. Maybe they got into their head and be like, no, don't eat what mom and dad is cooking. You only want chicken tenders, hot dogs, pizza, and hamburgers. And
that's what they serve at school.
Because that's what they serve at school. It's horrible. The school lunches are absolutely terrible. I'm calling out every school.
However, we do buy all organic, all gluten-free, nitrate-free hot dogs, and we try to at least get quality
stuff.
So the turning point was probably, I want to say 3 or 4, when they just cut off all of their I'm going to eat everything.
That's what I'm scared of. That's my biggest fear because Logan's the same way. She eats anything you put in front of her. Kale. I'd give her pickled beets. I've given this kid she eats pickles like it's her job. Every
pickles.
She loves pickles. Which I buy the all natural ones that just made in salt water because they're fermented naturally, and then it's good for their gut, as Mike was telling me and Christina Nietzsche that day, so that it helps with their gut bacteria or something. I think I'm saying
microbiome.
Yeah, that's good.
So I hope it stays that way. But my biggest fear is that she's gonna turn into, like you said, a chicken nugget, pizza, hot dog type gal. But I wasn't that way. I ate everything. I was eating escarole and beans at 5 years old. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think every kid kind of goes through that. That little stage in their life.
I'm scared for it.
I think that's the thing is, don't worry about the anxiety. As easy as that is to say for me, is the more anxious you. And so this is something that we've talked about on the Real Ish podcast too. So I'll give a little plug for that. Is when it comes to kids and behavior patterns. Is kids are sensitive. Even when I talk about I talk loud, as you guys can tell, right? You might be hearing it in my microphone. So even when you actually have a conversation and the girls are around, we're not even fighting. I just start talking louder because that's how I communicate. And Lena will bring something over and try and be like, oh, can we do this, or try and distract us or something along those lines. And kids will pick up on tones of voices. Even if you're feeling anxious, they can potentially pick up on that. Again, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a specialist in that field. However, I will say there's a component to that. So trying to be as chill as possible, because dude, think about, I love Anthorine. Anthorine, you are the best. But you could tell when Anthorine's frazzled, especially when we were kids, you could tell, right? You could tell when my mom was frazzled, or my dad, or our family, any family, you can tell, you can pick up on that. I don't have anything of value for that. I'm just throwing that out there.
I got super aggressive with El Diablo, so that's going to be.
Oh boy.
Oh, all right. So we have Liliana in the chat wants to know what everyone's making again. So Chuck, you want to tell them one more time what you're making?
What was it? What was the question?
Liliana's in the chat right now asking what we're making today. Because again, throughout the chat, different people pop in. So we're gonna have 40 different times. So what are we making?
So I'm doing a vaca frita in the Instapot. So what we're doing is we're taking some flank steak. We're going to salt and pepper that up. We're going to stick it in the Instapot on low for about 8 hours. We're putting 2 cups of, it called for beef broth, but we use vegetable broth, and a half cup of white wine with some bay leaves in there. We're going to let that simmer for about 8 hours in the Instapot. Then we're going to take it out. We're going to shred it, and I'm going to put it aside and put some lime all over that and put it in the fridge. And then when we're ready to go ahead and eat that, I'm going to take a little bit of avocado oil. I'm going to throw it in my skillet, and I'm going to crisp it up with some onions and some garlic.
What?
Yeah, what's up? Then I'm doing some chicken thighs in the oven now. I've got 2 different types of my guy Dude's Gourmet seasoning. G picked the El Diablo, which is going to be interesting tomorrow when I go to eat that. I picked the Honey Chipotle, which is out of their entire line of seasonings. I think this one's my
Your favorite?
one. He's got all different
He's
kinds
got
of
a honey
stuff.
habanero.
He does have a honey habanero. He's got a lemon pepper.
Ooh.
Korean. He's got specific ones for steak and vegetables and pizza and everything.
Tell them to
You
send
gotta
us
check
some.
him out.
I wanna eat them.
If you use code meal prep, all capital letters, space between meal and prep.
No.
Yes, he
One word.
changed it. He
Oh,
changed
it
it.
changed.
He's
He changed it, Pina.
$10 off 50 today.
Awesome. And now, Kelsey, why don't you tell them what you're making one more time?
So we're making a kale cheese salad, and then I'm also these mini frittatas that are easy reheat. With some of the kale that I'm using in the salad, and then some peppers, onions. I'm keeping it vegetarian, but
Nice.
style, so you can add pretty much whatever you want into them.
And you're just cooking these right in the oven?
Yep, you cook them in the oven just in
Nice.
like a regular cupcake tin, and then once they cool, pop out, and then you put them in your containers for each morning, and then the next day they go in the microwave for like a minute. They're cooked through, they're heated through, ready to go.
Awesome. And then Coach Mike, you gonna tell them one more time what you're making?
So I'm trying to hit the gamut here as far as I'm starting with breakfast, which I have right now. I got my French toast on there. The one thing I forgot to mention before that I was doing, I have a collagen-based protein that I not only added to my coffee, but I actually added it into my French toast because these are low-calorie, 35-calorie per slice pieces of whole wheat bread. So they're super efficient as far as it comes to caloric density, which is a fancy way of saying calories by volume. So you're not going to get a lot of calories. You can feel full. We're going to have a good amount of protein, good amount of fiber. That's my timer, so I got to flip my French toast. And I really like to, here's the thing, like French toast isn't that complicated to make, but I even like to make it like a day out or a couple days, like make a bunch of it, and then I can just pop it in the microwave, and I'm good to go. So that's going to be the breakfast. Then we have, for our dinner, I've got a pot roast in the Instapot that's going down right now. And then I'm also going to be doing air fried chickpeas in our Geek Chef air fryer toaster. And I'm going to be doing a nice combo flavor. I'm experimenting today. I'll even let you guys vote on this because I haven't mixed them up yet. I was thinking between garlic powder, onion powder, and cayenne powder, or I was thinking about doing some cinnamon and some stevia sweetener to make it maybe kind of like a little bit of a sweet flavor. I haven't tried that yet. I don't know how that'll taste. But I was going to let the comments and the followers, everybody, the viewers, vote on this, or if you guys want to vote on it as well. But that's what I was kind of thinking from a snack. So we got breakfast, we got a snack, we got dinner. And then I guess pot roast could be lunch and dinner. So kind of hit the gamut.
A little special seasoning in your life, Mike. You know what I'm saying?
All the seasonings, all the specials.
You don't even want to see what I've got going on over here right now. There's like
I do need some Dude Gourmet.
And handfuls of seasoning.
All the seasonings. That's so
Can we
funny.
just talk about that? Can we just, Kelsey and Chuck, I want to take you guys in and talk about this. I think that's such an important tool to leverage when it comes to your cooking. And the other thing I want to talk about is Kelsey. So I think Kelsey is the MVP as far as like, so I'm a big fan of doing plant-based. And then guess what? We could mash up what Kelsey's doing and Chuck's doing. You could take the meat, and that's the beautiful thing. You can have plant-based vegetarian options and then just throw meat on top of it. How I try and build most of my meals, honestly, is like, I think vegetarians or like meat or whatever gets this individual, like, oh, they got to be exclusive. No, dude, let's have a party. Let's have all the plant-based options. We can throw some meats and some animal products on there if we want to. And then if you have vegetarians or anyone that doesn't want that in their house, you can always leave them separate. And being able to add those spices like Chuck has, and then I'm sure Kelsey, obviously, you're very familiar with in like different capacities, obviously with what you do for work. So I was curious just to hear, because Kelsey, we even did a podcast on this talking about calorie density and like getting foods that don't have to be super calorie dense, but adding in seasoning and flavors and spices and herbs to help add flavor without the added calories. So I was curious to hear like your thoughts on that too.
Exactly. I think I kind of want you to do both of those seasonings on those chickpeas because I think plain chickpeas, like, they don't taste very good. But they're super great because they have protein, they have the fiber you need, they have good carbohydrates. So those seasonings can really make them more like enjoyable. What you described the cinnamon. I've never tried it. It kind of sounds like a churro, which I love churros. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
out. So I think you should do like half and half, do like a savory and a sweet, because I definitely
Ooh.
do it from time to time, and having a good snack like that is always important.
For sure. I think that's a great point, actually. I didn't think of that. And what I did was I actually made some of these ahead of time so you guys could see the finished product. This is the fun. I'm going to try and tilt this up. This is a nice roasted. Now, this doesn't have any flavor to them. These are just regular air fried chickpeas. And, dude, I'll even.
How long do you air fry them for?
These I did for about 20 minutes.
What temperature?
It's actually, I want to say it was at 400. Let me check right now.
You buy them in the can?
It was 450. Yeah, I take them straight out of the can. I drain them. I let them kind of just air dry for a minute. And then I haven't added the powder yet, so we're going to actually do this today. But what I was going to do is just lay them out on the tray, splash them, hit them with a nice shower, flip them over, shower them. Or I was thinking maybe I have a mixing bowl highlighted in my carrot sauce. Maybe I put them in a mixing bowl, hit it, toss them a little bit, hit them again. Maybe, Kelsey, I'm curious if you have a recommendation or a thought on that, if you have any pro insight.
Sorry, I'm gonna bang and beat my chicken here for a second. So if I make too much loud, I apologize.
Go ahead, we'll test it out. Go for it, Chuck.
In a deep fryer, you always want to get the seasoning after because it will stick to that fat. So I'm kind of interested, but I feel like before you air fry, where you're still kind of get some that deep frying, will probably stick a little bit better. And that depends on your seasoning too. I'm not sure how. But I think with it being more that air circulation, you should stay on that.
Okay.
It may vary from seasoning to seasoning too. You know, maybe like more like fried herbs. You might want.
Okay.
Yeah, pro tips from Kelsey. Also, if you guys want to see more pro tips from Kelsey, Kelsey has her own channel. I'm trying to influence her to do more on her own channel because I personally would love to see that. You could also, Kelsey has some great, she has if you want to also, Kelsey, plug all the other things that you have going on, from the dog treats to even nutrition coaching. You can also work with her via LOF, but she also has her own stuff that you can work with her on too. So I figured, Kelsey, drop that as well.
Awesome. We have highlighted right now, I have my air fryer that I use. And then in the Life of Fighter, I had the Geek Chef air fryer that Coach Mike is using as well for those chickpeas. Those are really awesome options. There's different price points. Each one has a different feature depending on what you're looking for, because there's some that has dehydrate. There's some that has slow cooking, roasting. I know the one I have actually dehydrates, slow cooks, roast, bake, conventional oven, all these random. You can actually do a whole rotisserie chicken in it and literally stick it and it turns it and does all this really cool stuff. So I love that. Also, because you talked about mixing bowls really quickly, I had the double wall stainless steel bowls that come with a lid so they're safe for the freezer. So say you're making dough and you have extra, you just put the lid on it and stick it right in the freezer. You don't need to dirty another container. Take it out and use it as a mixing bowl again. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's clutch, dude. I'm actually going to highlight a mixing bowl set that does similar. On mine, it's actually got a discount right now. I want to say it's 10% off. I lied. It's 20% off. Also, shout out to Shelly. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you, by the way. So I'm a little delayed with checking my chat. I'm going to still check it, but I might be a little bit late. And also, shout out to Dina. Dina in the chat checking in saying, hey, good to see you.
Nice. Hi, everyone. Guys, again, if you can, click that follow button. Check us out on all of our platforms. We're all here streaming live. Again, every click, every follow means so much to us. You guys are absolutely amazing. I hope everyone's having an amazing Sunday. I'm here just commentating because I feel like there'd have been a lot going on if I was in the kitchen too. And I also didn't want to clean up my kitchen after. So I'm just being honest. I didn't feel like cleaning up.
That's fair. I appreciate the honesty, Jay.
Yeah, this weekend was like a lazy weekend. I've been just super tired and so forth. So I left the cooking up to you guys. Kelsey's the chef over here. We got Chuck over here doing the meal prep, and we got Mike up there doing his little snacky poos. Guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to ask. And if you missed out, ooh, there's his French toast. Look at it.
Now, Let's see if you guys can recognize. What did I put on this French toast from last night? I don't know. You're not going to be able to see. I'm just going to tell you guys. I put peanut butter on it. I put a little slab of peanut butter. One tablespoon peanut butter, 2 slices French toast. Ooh, so good.
Mike, are you eating it as you're making it? I mean, this is supposed to
No,
be
no. No, that was from last night. I just had extra French toast left over. I had 2 slices left over that I didn't eat because I made 4. I was like, dude, I'm not going to force feed myself the last 2 slices. So I actually stopped. I used my hunger indicators and my cues feeling full. I was about 70, 80% full. So I was, instead of force feeding myself and getting to 100% where I'm overly full and stuffed and uncomfortable, I'm going to stop.
Wait, Mike, what did you just say?
100%. Hold on, I got to get my push-ups.
Oh, he's doing this. Okay. Just so you know, guys, every time they say the word, I'm not involved with this, 100%.
You can say it. Yeah, you can say it.
They have to do push-ups, so they just jump right down and start doing things.
Oh, I roll.
I know how
you're free to join in on the push-ups. I'm not doing it.
Maybe, I don't know. I already went to the gym this morning.
Yeah, Kelsey, I see you did that
You look
work.
like you're about to do something.
No. So we're just talking about seasonings. So for this salad, I'll kind of show you what I've got in here. I got chopped kale. I've got some red pepper, kind of largely cut. I really like the crunchiness of it. And then cucumber as well. I make my own dressing for it. So it is a half a cup of olive oil, a quarter cup of balsamic vinegar, and then I always just season with your heart. When it comes to garlic, delicious, and it's anti-inflammatory. So I put a teaspoon of chopped garlic in there, and then back to seasoning. One of the big ones I use is always turmeric. If you kind of do your research or you listen to different health coaches, you'll always hear them talk about the benefits of turmeric. So I always try to add it in whatever in such subtle ways. I know a lot of people say I do not like the flavor. It kind of can have a weird flavor if you overuse it, but just like a little bit here and there really goes a long way. Usually about a quarter teaspoon a day is beneficial to you. That's not a lot. So yeah, just add it. I added a teaspoon to the salad thing. That up with some other herbs and spices. I got a little bit of dill, a little thyme, and a little bit of red pepper for that flavor. And then you just take your dressing and mix up that salad. This will definitely last in your refrigerator for like 4 to 5 days. Kale's so hearty that it really doesn't get that slimy texture. A lot of greens. That's what makes it a great head dish to have.
All right. That sounds
well
really
said, Kelsey.
I'm getting actually really hungry watching all of you guys right now, and it's not fair.
She's getting hungry. You got some sweet potatoes going in the oven right now.
Ooh.
I got the bacon press already in the air fryer. We're already over here going.
Nice. Guys, I have highlighted to you the 24-piece Superior glass set. They go from the fridge to the freezer to the oven. You can cook with these as well. This glass set is super, super awesome. They do 3-in-1 functions, airtight, leak-proof as well. They are amazing for meal prepping and make reheating and repurposing super, super simple. So check those out if you get a chance. So yeah, what are you doing over there, Coach Mike?
So now I'm actually going to be popping open our chickpeas, or the garbanzo beans, as we like to get technical. So I've got the KitchenAid highlighter right now, because that's what I'm going to be using as my can opener. Plus, it's got a discount. Let's actually see what kind of discount we got. I'm going to say 10%. Oh, dang, 31% off right now.
Nice.
So you get $10 off on this KitchenAid right now in the carousel. So I'm going to let's demonstrate how easy this is. Boom, we popped it. We're going to scroll it. We're going to turn it. So used to scrolling on our phone. Now, the only downside is because I actually have the sink full of dishes that are soaking right now. I'm not going to drain my chickpeas into the sink. I'm going to actually drain them into a separate container and then dump them later. So I'm going to hop right on over here. I'll screen for a second. We're going to drain these bad boys. So I like to get them a little dry. And then we're going to throw them. I have the Geek Chef air fryer toaster ready to go. I'm going to highlight that bad boy next. And then we're going to get them seasoned up. So we're going to get them right on into the air fryer toaster. We're going to hit them for 20 minutes, nothing crazy, simple. So you can have a delicious, especially for those that like savory. If you like crunchy, this can be a great option. But also Kelsey was talking about before, and we were kind of digging into, we could also make it almost like a churro where we have that added sweet. We get some cinnamon, we throw in some stevia. And so I'm going to make 2 different batches. I'm going to do one that's the sweet. I'm going to do one that has the garlic powder, has the onion powder, has a little bit of kick from cayenne. And then I'm going to actually eat them separate, and then I'm going to mix them together and see what the mix is going to taste like. Because I feel like, and Kelsey, to your point, I feel like this could be a nice combo here. That like spice and the sweet, it can have a nice little combo 1-2 punch there. So that's what's kind of going down over, excuse me, on this end as I just start choking on having a piece of chickpea that I tried before, and the powder is getting caught in my throat.
Are chickpeas high in carbs or anything, like opposed to having a chickpea? Can you tell us what the comparison is?
All right, so let's actually read it right from the can so you can get a reference point. And then Kelsey, feel free to jump in, or Chuck, feel free to jump in on anything that you guys hear I might miss or anything like that. But so it's 120 calories per serving, and the serving size is a half a cup. So if we look at that, I personally like to see when I consider it a high protein source. This is just me personally. I like 10 grams of protein per 100 calories, which is roughly about 40% protein by like calorie breakdown, which is kind of high. It doesn't mean you have to do that. It's just what I like. But this has 6 grams of protein by 120 calories for the can that I have. And that leaves 19 grams of carbs. It's only got 1 gram of sugar. And this is where I think it's the real winner, is the 6 grams of dietary fiber, because that amount of fiber is, here's the key. So what's interesting about gut health, and Kelsey, you could speak to this, Chuck, you could speak to this, is one of the contributing factors is not only sugar, but it's also fiber. Fiber can be a positive for our gut health. So the more fiber we can get into our nutrition plan, just with things that we're going to enjoy, is an added benefit. But yes, there are carbohydrates in it. There's about 19, 20 grams of carbs per serving. So it's not like we can just eat them without a concern, but that's almost anything. Anything we're going to eat, we're going to want to be mindful of to a certain capacity. But what do you think, Kels?
I mean, yeah, depending on your lifestyle and what your carbohydrate intake, someone who's pretty active, so I always want to have like a healthy amount of carbs. This is something that I would eat for like lunchtime. I'm not gonna go and eat it
for sure
like late at night, and then have those carbohydrates. So this is something I would have even like post workout. But yeah, it's one of those things that like I know that those carbs definitely balanced with the amount of fiber and protein. So I think it just kind of goes down to, like, what is your like individual nutrition goals? What is your lifestyle when it comes to like adding those different things into your diet? But also highlighting on it, frying them is eating like a crunchy snack, and it's always going to be healthier than eating like deep fried or basket of fries or something. So
bingo.
It's always a better option to.
Okay.
Dude, you know what I might try now that I'm looking at it? I'm thinking about throwing some curry powder on these too. I'm thinking about getting exciting here. What do you guys think? I feel like it's gonna taste good.
Getting a little spicy, Mike?
Like we were talking about, it's really something that you can kind of do whatever feels like tastes good to you. So I always say my favorite junk food, anything like buffalo, Super Bowl's coming up. Buffalo chickpeas is a great snack that kind of balance out all the everything.
Kelsey, you got to get some El Diablo Dude's Gourmet Seasoning and make Diablo chickpeas.
Ooh. Yeah, dude. So here's my question: how do we get Dude's Gourmet onto Amazon so we can start sharing their stuff just directly on Amazon? We gotta talk to them, Chuck.
I'm working on it, Mike. I'm working on it. Hold on. Let me do
my
thing.
thing.
Let me do my thing.
So I can check them out.
So I'm going into making some homemade taco bowls now as well. Yep. So my homemade taco bowls, I like to use like the cauliflower-based rice. I love the white rices. These are actually the ancient grain ones. You can get these on Amazon as well. I love the fried rice one. In this, it's got some lentils, some chickpea flour, pea fiber, rice flour. So it's got dehydrated peas and carrots, All great stuff. It's made
Ooh.
with ancient grains. So I use this as a layer of my carbohydrates when I'm making my taco bowls versus any type of white rice. I'll use the white rice. And then I've got my organic ground beef that I'm gonna put on the stovetop right now. I use an 85-15 blend. We just sear that up, put some taco seasoning in there. If you want to add cheese, great. If you don't want to add cheese and lower your fat content, remove the cheese. And then ultimately I just end up steaming some vegetables and throwing the vegetables on there as well. So my homemade taco bowls consist of just some taco meat, some white rice medley, and some steamed vegetables.
Nice.
Let's get into it.
Do it.
Oh, and one thing I want to highlight is all of these meals, except for my French toast, that's the only downside. All of these meals have plant-based components at the foundation, right? That's where we're gonna really gain a lot of vitamins and minerals. That's where we can gain also fiber from them, as well as I think it adds some amazing flavors if you use them properly with the right seasonings. And then adding on top of that. So here's a big shift that happened for me years ago, and I still find myself falling into this habit, is I would build my meals around the meats or the animal products, as opposed to building it around the plant-based items and then adding in the animal products, because I personally like them. So if you guys don't, you want to go vegetarian or vegan, that's totally fine. Being aware, and I think to Kelsey's point, and even to like Chuck, we've talked about this in the past, it's a combination of being aware of deficiencies might be, being aware of what kind of lifestyle you're living, and making up for those things with the combinations of different plant-based items, or adding in supplements or additional things, and depending on even like why you're doing it. If you're doing vegan because you want to have cruelty-free, there's other dynamics and components to look at comparatively just to what's based for your body and what you're responding there, or sensitivities. So I wanted to highlight that piece, because you can do everything Kelsey's doing and then just adding the meat side of what Chuck's doing here, and it's a nice blend. Or you can do what I'm doing and just make some French toast. That's fine too, but not have any plant-based in there.
But if you're making the French toast, make the French toast, meal prep yourself, or don't make it and eat it like Mike's doing over there right now.
I didn't even take a bite yet. I took one bite of the egg. I had like a little bit of a half egg left over, and now I'm just letting them cool. They're going to go in the fridge, and then I'm going to be a rock star tomorrow and Tuesday when I wake up with the girls, because I traded that off with Ashley. I got to sleep late today. I got to wake up early with the girls the rest of the week pretty much. So I have French toast ready to go, because the girls love French toast with syrup in the morning. So I'm that rock star dad. And guess what? I'm a cool dad, where I'm not saying I do this for points, but I break down, bro, and I let them have a little bit of dark chocolate. I let them sprinkle a little bit of dark chocolate on their French toast or in their cereal, and they like it. But here's the cool thing. This is what I found really cool with the girls, and Chuck, I'm curious if your kids started to do this too, is they don't just like go until they burst. Like they stop. They have this internal mechanism. They understand that internal cue that we all have. They don't have outside influences where they force feed themselves, because they don't have to worry about, how many calories. They literally just eat it until they're satisfied. And then when they're satisfied, you can see this happen, and they just stop and they just walk away. Like, dude, look at this. We put yogurt, Greek yogurt. Oh, you guys can't really see. I'm gonna try and do it without spilling. Hold on. So we got Greek yogurt here with chocolate chips in it. I would say it's about halfway eaten, halfway ate, because Tessa just was full, walked away. She's like, I don't care about the chocolate. I don't care about that. She was satisfied and walked away. So I think that's a really cool thing. I always like to look to the kids, because they don't have like a lot of times outside influences impacting their behaviors. Yes.
Yeah, kids are great at doing that. Like Ava and I love tacos. We're taco junkies.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you put 4 or 5 tacos in front of me, I have to make sure that those tacos are gone. You can't leave a taco behind. Okay.
No
My
taco
daughter,
left
on the other
behind.
hand, she'll order like 2 tacos and she'll eat one and she'll be like, no, I'm good. I'm like, listen, what you've done to that taco is blasphemy. You need to eat that taco.
Yeah. I don't know. That's what I'm hoping, that eventually Logan learns her self-control stuff, because my kid will eat and she looks like literally a pin in her. She's about to pop. So she constantly wants to eat every like 30 minutes. I don't understand. I don't know if she's just growing or she's just likes to eat. I don't know.
That's the growing factor.
Did your kids do the same thing, Chuck? Like literally have lunch, get down from our high chair, and run to the snack cabinet.
Yeah, Ava does that now. Carmelo does it too. They're like, okay, we just ate dinner, and then like a half hour later, I'll see them roaming around the kitchen. Like, what are you doing? They're like, oh, we're hungry.
Yep, exactly what she does every single time. And now she's at the point where we taught her please, and we try to tell her she's hungry to rub her belly. So every time she says please now, she goes, please, and rubs her belly. I don't know if she's really hungry or she's just associating this with please now. So she's
manipulation tactics right there, G. Manipulation tactics.
Yeah, she's just like, please, and rubs her belly. And I'm like, oh, okay. We messed up by teaching you please and hungry in the same moment. Kelsey, we had someone ask, like, what are you making? I told them in the chat she's making egg frittatas, right? Am I right? Am I saying that right?
Egg frittata?
Egg frittata. Sorry, I said it wrong.
I don't know, actually. I forgot.
In case you don't want French toast every morning. So basically, I'm eating 6 because I'll usually eat 1 a day with like toast or something, so that will get me through the week. I've just got red pepper, some onion, some kale, sauteed down. Again, whatever seasonings you like. I have a little bit of salt, a little bit of chili powder, a little bit of cumin there. And so the best ratio is how many baking is how many eggs you want to crack and scramble. So making 6, so just crack 6 eggs. Those scrambled up, ready to go, and then I just the egg dish till it like fills it. And kind of let that go. Once that's full, I'll pop them in the oven about 20 minutes, and then once they're done, I let them cool like completely in the tin. That way they don't stick to the sides. And then I'll refrigerate them in my container. And so, like I said, these are pretty versatile. Whatever you want. I just had red pepper and kale and onion. You can add meat to these. You can add cheese. I am actually lactose intolerant, so I don't add meat to my mix. Like anyone obviously can. I'm also just gonna top this in with like a little bit of ghee that I don't eat cow dairy or shouldn't eat cow dairy. So I'm just gonna crumble like a little bit of up too. So when they bake, that will be there.
Okay.
Yeah, Kelsey breaking it down.
Do you know what's crazy is that I saw in Costco they make the little egg. I think I'm saying fritas because like I think that's what the brand I'm used to associating those with is these little like exactly what you're making, but they're frozen and they come with kale, spinach, whatever. Egg. They make ones with egg whites and then ones with eggs. And the only thing is, though, obviously they're expensive. They're expensive. You would think those things would be because they're so easy to make. I'm sure the price point of you making them is way more affordable. And look how easy it is to make. But I didn't even think about making them at home. I was just buying them from Costco for so long because Logan loved them. But now I think I'm going to make them at home.
For sure. And you
That's
can
the mode.
egg whites too, because kind of following that same procedure. Obviously, with egg whites, you might need to use a little bit more than 1 per. But and kind of the concept, kind of adding whatever. And then as far as cost goes, yeah, with that kale, I bought a bunch of kale at the grocery store. I think it cost me like around $2 or something.
Okay.
Or I've used half of it for that salad and maybe like another cup for these frittatas, and I still have some left that I can, add into like a pasta or something, or saute it. I've already possibly get 3 meals out of that one bunch of kale.
Awesome. Love it. Guys, also, in case you're wondering what I'm doing, I've had it highlighted for a minute now. I am riding a bike while I'm sitting here, my under-desk bike. So I'm trying to get a little...
Get it, G.
You're riding the bike?
Yeah, I'm riding the desk bike, though. I'm getting the cardio with it. And it's $40 off right now, so it's only $160. Go right
Dude, that's a crazy deal.
Right? And guys, not only that, it has 8 intensities. I'm on level 3.
3? Yeah.
Got it.
Getting that blood flowing after yesterday's leg workout. I like it. I like where you're going, Jay.
Helps with the recovery, lymphatic system.
Oh, why? Riding a bike after a leg workout will help recover?
Not just like riding the
Absolutely.
bike, but using any lower body impact movement will help stimulate our lymphatic system and help just get fluid and drainage happening to help recover, to help
I thought
keep
it would make it
fluid
worse.
moving.
I avoid using my legs for like a week after. Okay, that's exaggerated.
No.
But
So, sorry, go. I was just going to say, so shout out to Coach Deuce and Coach Boo Boo at Rogue Combat Club because they're both his name's Tyler, but we call him Boo Boo. I actually don't even remember why we call him Boo Boo. I think he's like white like a ghost, like Casper, so we call him Boo or Boo Boo. I don't know. Point being, though, is we talk about this all the time. And this just made me think of this, is they would do track and field workouts. And one of the best things that they would have happen after like a meet or something like that is go for a nice light cool down run. Nothing intense, nothing long, but just getting blood flow. So that made me think of that. And I think that's a really helpful point. And even just being able to, like, going back to your point, even Kelsey, so going back to even some of the herbs and spices, like working in turmeric, for example, or like having some anti-inflammatory benefits that can see that added component to it, can all be little pieces we do to help us recover. Because the more and this is where I think it's really important to leverage food and training, but also how we sleep, how we manage stress. The more we can help our body recover and be less chronically inflamed, the more we can pursue and train and feel good and ultimately live a higher quality of life.
Yeah. I think
Sipping on that magnesium water. Jill, did you get your magnesium
Oh,
I don't have
Put it in your
magnesium.
cart.
I have to get some.
Put it in your cart. Magnesium powder.
What if it's in my
Kelsey, hit
multivitamin?
us.
Huh? I mean, I started taking
Hi,
magnesium
Joni.
years ago, adding it into my daily supplement. It
Oh,
makes
I
such
see
a
it.
difference. And it's funny because I always feel like a lot of like younger athletes now, they have all these great resources because of all this new research. And I kind of think like, man, when I was an athlete, I just, did whatever, not thinking like all this recovery. Not that like I don't feel like coaches were great. I had some great coaches, but also just the knowledge that we have now and like adding these supplements and what was I doing as far as like diet is not. It's funny how I think of like when I was an actively like competitive athlete, how terrible I was eating compared to now as just someone who trains for the fun of it and helps other athletes train. So it's just, I always think about it, like I wonder how much better I could have been as a competitive athlete if I had the diet I have now with the workouts I'm doing then. But I mean, it's always a good learning experience. Also, when you're younger and your metabolism is fast, you can crush a bunch of mac and cheese. And fine. Probably why I can't have dairy now.
Yeah, so Kelsey, I actually fell into that habit a lot when I was like powerlifting.
Mm-hmm.
I would like be at the gym for like 2.5 hours, just straight up powerlifting, all kinds of copious weight, and then I would leave there and be like, oh, I just put in 2 hours at the gym. I can go eat whatever I want.
Crush it.
And that obviously didn't work out great for me. It took me until actually meeting Mike to really start focusing on my nutrition aspect of things. And I was probably in my, I want to say late 30s, Mike, when I met you.
Yeah, dude, Chuck, it's been not so long, like as if it's a bad thing. It's been a great thing. I'm super grateful. Like, it's funny how long we've known each other now. I take for granted. So I'll tell the story. And Pina and Chuck, tell me if I misconstrue any of the timeline pieces. So here's the story.
She can't hear. I had to put my headphones on, so she's over there.
Better, Mike. That's all right. That's all right. You can fact check me as well. But one thing, before I get into that story, I just want to highlight, I actually have highlighted the food sensitivity test on my carousel because, Kelsey, you mentioned having lactose intolerance. And just that's something surprising, speaking of nutrition, is like realizing what we might have some potential allergies or sensitivities to from even overuse or over-reliancy of eating the same thing over and over and over again. I've seen a lot of bodybuilders, and Chuck, you can speak to this too, of eating turkey and eggs and broccoli or things like that we constantly eat. We actually create an adverse response to, and it doesn't mean that it's gone forever. It's just something that we can take this test, and it has over 96 foods that you can figure out your sensitivity to. The only downside is that it's not available in New York or New Jersey right now. Sorry, my tri-state area peeps. It's got 34% off, though, so that's a bonus. But I say all that to say, and this is going to tie in with the story with Chuck. So how I originally met Chuck is I was working at UFC corporate in New York first. I left that location just because, to be honest with you, I feel like I wasn't valued. It just wasn't working out. It was a great experience. We crushed. I was super proud of my time there because we crushed like all the UFC corporate numbers, like most sales, like, you know, most members, best quality, all that fun stuff. Then I went to a franchise location in Huntington. I was at both Comac and Huntington. And then Chuck was originally at the corporate location. Pina came in. This is what I remember. Pina was like, hey, I want to get Chuck some training sessions. Can he work with you, my husband? And then you guys would run to the gym from your house, if I remember correctly. Is that right?
That's correct. We would run to the gym. We'd get a run in, go to the gym, work out, and then we would run home.
That's insane.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And think about the kind of training sessions we would do. We would do like an hour, and I'm talking like, so Kelsey also kickboxes and strikes as well. Shout out to Kelsey. And also you mentioned some people that you work with. Shout out to Colleen, by the way. Yeah, Colleen. Just want to send some love. And so you can understand like an hour of kickboxing. Chuck would do like an hour of striking classes. Chuck and Pina would crush it, or do an hour of our daily ultimate training classes. So it was a strength conditioning circuit-based blend, and an hour intense class, nothing light. And then they would just go on. And that's a good example of actually running it off and being able to like get blood flow, but not too crazy. You could have honestly even walked probably and still seen benefits, but that's like a fun fact on how long. And I want to say that was 2013 maybe, or 2011, somewhere between 2011, 2013, or 14.
Mike, you remember the first thing I said to you when I walked into that gym?
No.
I remember it to this day. You and Kyle were over in the dumbbell section, and I walked up to you guys, and I looked, and like your dumbbells only went up to like, I think it was 70s. And I walked up to these two guys, and I was like, come on, all you guys got is 70-pound dumbbells. Come on. I was giving them all the time.
Like, we need hundreds. We need hundreds. And then eventually, I want to say we actually got more weight because of you. And then also,
It's hilarious.
so Chuck, you mentioned the first time that we sparred together. I want you to tell the story of the first time we sparred together, because my experience of it is you beat me up. That's what I remember.
No, this was completely the opposite. So I was training for a fight for charity fight. Mike actually goaded me into doing this fight for charity fight. And so I was training for the fight for charity fight. Now, keep in mind, I haven't sparred in years. And, we're just training, doing our thing. And, our coach comes up, Coach Tito comes up, and he's like, all right, today you're going to spar Mike. Now, I had done some very light sparring during this whole training session, but nothing to the point of getting in the ring, ready to go. He's putting Vaseline on my face, and nobody's saying anything to me other than the fact that I'm sparring Mike. Now, keep in mind, Mike and Tito had a full-blown conversation with each other about what was about to go down. Nobody told me what was about to go down.
I should
Mike,
say that.
You were training for a fight at this point in time, so his game was really on. So
Are you saying my game's not on now?
Well, listen, that super fight is going to happen. The super fight's still going to happen, and my game is way on point right now compared to your jiu-jitsu game. So anyway, getting back to the story, the bell rings. Mike comes out and touches gloves and goes like 1,000% on me, and ends up blasting me in the nose, and my nose explodes, and there's blood everywhere. I immediately start having this like full-blown anxiety attack because I can't breathe now. I got my mouthpiece in.
He's got headgear.
It's the middle of the summer. Tito is holding my nose closed because there's blood pouring out of my nose. I rip off my headgear and I get out of the ring. And Pina was actually taking a class and they were warming up. She runs up to me and she goes, "What are you doing? Get back in the ring. You're standing around talking right now." And then my son comes out of the little room, the babysitting room, and looks at me and goes, "Dad, you got to keep working harder." Yeah, thanks, everybody. Thank you.
So the only thing I'll add to that story is I have this rule, or this like guideline, this guiding principle. I don't like to do business with people unless I've trained with them to some capacity. I'm not saying we have to fight or spar. We don't have to roll. I just want to do weight training. I like to train with people because you see who people really are when you train with them. And what I learned about Chuck that day is you can hit him as hard as you want. You can hit him as hard as you want. Guess what? He's going to keep showing up. He's going to keep getting better. He's going to keep on grinding. He's going to have, and that's why we call him the bulldog. He's got that bulldog mentality. He's got that fighting them, that gameness.
So
And
funny.
speaking of which, really quick, I'm just going to say shout out to Lady M, by the way. Yeah, Lady M. And then shout out to David. Thanks for the follow. Ooh, Lady M's making chicken wings and things. Get ready for some football. I see you, girl. So I'm going to highlight the Geek Chef air fryer toaster because guess what's done, guys? Oh, man, my chickpeas are done.
Oh, your chickpeas done? I want to see them.
After the
All right,
chickpeas, so Mike, I might have to run and let you guys continue cooking because Miss Logan needs to get fed.
Honey
Yeah,
Chipotle
we got
air fried chicken breast is done as well. We're looking good.
I'm not a chicken breast man.
What?
I'm telling you, you take this chicken breast and you butterfly it and then you pound it out so it's nice and thin. Nice, Mike. I like those chickpeas too.
Look at that golden
You know what?
color.
The thing that turns me off about chicken breast is when you don't butterfly it and pound it out. It's just too thick and you're just chewing on it forever. It's gross. So I take my chicken breast and I butterfly it, so you technically get 2 pieces of chicken out of 1, and then I pound it out, and then you salt and pepper it to break down the proteins a little bit, and then you season it, and then throw it in the air fryer. And I'm telling you, you're gonna like chicken breast once you're done with it.
You put any type of oil or any kind of like coating on it to get it that crispy, or just seasoning?
No, honestly, I just put, because again, we're trying to watch our fat content, so I really don't like to add any additional oils or fats on there. So I just end up seasoning it, throw it in the air fryer. I mean, come on, look, it looks amazing.
It does look really good. I don't know why. Ever since I was pregnant, chicken doesn't hit the same way for me. Oh, those look really good, Mike. I like chicken thighs. I like the juicy dark meat, but I take the skin off to make it healthier. And I also I like drums and I like wings. But the breast for some reason, I could not eat my entire pregnancy. And then afterwards, I've tried eating it. Maybe a chicken cutlet I like a breaded chicken cutlet. That's the Italian in me. But outside of that, for some reason, chicken breasts just don't hit the same.
I'm telling you, give this a shot. You're going to love it.
I'll try it. How long do you cook it for?
I cook it in the air fryer at 400 for 10 minutes.
Okay.
I take it out, and usually what I'll end up doing is flipping it over so it gets a little crispy on both sides.
Okay.
And I throw it in for another 5 minutes. It's, I'm going to say the word. You said it yesterday, but it's moist.
It's moist. That's what I'm saying. If it's not moist or thin, especially thick chicken breast that's dry, is the most disgusting thing you could ever eat. And I put it in your mouth.
Look at that. Look how good that looks. It's steamy. It's hot. It's great.
My face is just like.
I feel like a lot of people overcook their chicken breast, but doing it kind of Chuck did, where it's an even level, so it doesn't have these thick parts. It's not gonna get that nasty skin on the outside. For dry, or even just braising it in your Instapot or crock pot just to add more juices to it, so it doesn't get dry texture. And obviously, when you're braising, the longer you do it, the better.
One of my favorite recipes, and I forgot where it came from. It might have been Skinny Cooking or SkinnyTaste.com. This author Gina, her name is. She makes a whole skinny taste book, cooking taste book, a skinny cooking book. And all it was is laying chicken breast in the bottom of a crock pot, taking your favorite salsa, and pouring it so it covers the chicken breast completely, letting it cook on low for I think it was 4 hours until it's fully cooked through, and then shredding it, tossing it in the salsa again, and letting it cook for another hour in the salsa, and it tastes like taco meat for chicken.
Yeah. And
that was one of my favorite, easiest things. Literally a jar of salsa and chicken breast. Throw it in there, shred that bad boy up, let it sit in the juices, and it was so good. And I don't know, now it's just I can't. I'll cook chicken thighs all day, but I don't know.
Chicken thighs are in the oven right now, Jan. They're looking pretty dang good.
Oh, yeah.
What's up?
In the oven, not air fryer?
I've got a lot of things happening in the air fryer right now, so I threw them in the oven. And then once they're done in the oven, I'm going to crisp them up in the air fryer after they're done in the oven.
Do you normally cook them in the air fryer, though, if you're cooking them by themselves?
Usually what I do with chicken wings, and I know Kelsey just said something about overcooking chicken, is I'll usually bake them in the oven to get that moistness and lock the moistness in there, and then I crisp them up afterwards in the air fryer real quick.
A little flash.
That's how you would do if you go to a restaurant, how do they cook chicken wings is they usually par cook them either in the oven, and then you get the deep fryer. So if you just throw it in the deep fryer, that's where it's gonna get dry on the outside before it actually cooks in the middle, especially anything with a bone in it.
Heidi asked, do you do food deliveries to Mass? I'm assuming she means Massachusetts. Does anyone here meal prep and deliver or send food?
Talking a whole new level of gameness right there.
Right?
That's a little bit far for us, but I'm sorry.
And North Carolina. So we got New York and North Carolina being held down. But that just goes out weird. Like, I wonder if there's any meal prep companies on Amazon or if they would even allow that, because we got to partner up with maybe a meal prep company that would be on Amazon.
I think through Amazon Fresh there is a way you can meal prep and get pre-made meals, if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on it. Guys, but I do have to run. Mike, I'm going to leave everything open and running, so do not forget to hit the end button.
So here's the thing. I don't have access because I'm on my laptop. I'll have to do it from my computer, but I'll be able to, as long as you leave it open and don't hit end,
I'm not going to
I'll be able to end it on my desktop. So don't.
I'm going to leave it here, but just do not forget to hit the end button.
Do you guys want to? All right, I won't tell you the full story. Yeah, I won't tell you the full story of what I forgot, but I forgot to hit end on a stream once late at night.
And he forgot he was streaming, guys. Just let your imagination run with that. So he left the stream on without forgetting everything was running, and he was in his garage. So, yeah, anyway.
That's typical Mike stuff. To your question before regarding the meal delivery companies, I've researched a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of good ones out there. All depends on ultimately what your goal is. Okay. B, if you defining your macros, if you're working with a coach, I know we talked macros before, macronutrients.
Facts.
A lot of meal companies out there are going to either ask you what your macronutrients are, or they're going to calculate them on their own. And really, if they're calculating them on their own, it depends on the data that you're putting in there. So in order to really get your macronutrients nailed down, we need to know what your lean body mass is and what your body fat percentage is. There's no real way to calculate that other than getting that data in there. So they can put all kinds of questionnaires and everything on there. If you don't know what your body composition looks like and what your body fat percentage and lean body mass is, there's really no good way to define where your macronutrients should be set with your goals.
Okay.
Boom. Chuck dropping knowledge.
Kelsey, back me up on that. Come on.
I mean, I don't really know a lot about those meal prep services, to be honest. I know that there's a lot of them out there. I think that finding a local meal prep is always going to be better for you. I know our area, Asheville, North Carolina, they do a lot of, there are like a few meal prep services. Some of them are pretty good. They are like health-based. Some of them really aren't. And then, people who also like do private chef, it would be something to reach out to them, be like, hey, I don't need a full-time private chef. I really just need someone to, do some meal prepping for me. It might be a service they offer. That's kind of like part of my job right now, is just for this specific spot, but kind of that like extra thing that they could do. So I would definitely do some research about that for sure. But yes, like trying to stay local, because sometimes I feel like with the prep services, because they're shipping them from like different parts of the country, I don't know how fresh those are doing, and
Right.
also I don't know, are they adding anything to their ingredients?
Yeah, that goes into the quality of ingredients that they're using as well. I don't know what Mike is doing. It sounds like he's wrestling an alligator. He's disappeared from the screen. Yeah, what was there a gorilla over there? What do you got?
I went into the garage and I had my studio open so you can hear the background noise, but I went in there to get a couple things. First, I've got my LifeWit storage container because we're doing all this meal prep, so I wanted to highlight, I added it to the carousel. It also has a discount right now. Just a nice little like to-go lunch box so you can have all the things stored up. And then I also wanted to get our Fit Index Smart Scale. So we were talking about checking body composition. Using that, we did like a whole series on that 2 weeks ago. So I wanted to highlight you guys my favorite go-to smart scale. This thing is under $25 right now. It's actually $20 because we got 23% off. So, dude, for $20, you could buy a bathroom-sized scale. It has these 4 little probes, not even probes, 4 little spacers on it that send a light electrical current. sends it through your body. You don't even feel it. It syncs up to a smart app, and it's going to not only tell you how much you weigh, but it's also going to give you, again, your lean muscle tissue, water percentages, visceral fat breakdown, which is the fat around our organs and our midsection. That is where we have the highest risk of comorbidities and having potential other chronic diseases, as well as it'll give you a basal metabolic rate number, which is a fancy way of saying how many calories you burn. And if you know that, oh, look at how good those are. Let me see,
Yeah,
Kels.
so these are the, as you can see, there's still there's still like a
those are good.
little like undercooked in the middle. That's perfectly okay because you're gonna throw them in the microwave and they're gonna finish cooking. So like I said, I'm gonna let these sit until they cool, probably like a couple hours out of the refrigerator. And then once they're completely cool, they'll pop out really easily. You might need to use like a spoon to kind of like go around the sides a little bit. Out, and then I'll put them in my containers, and in the morning I'll throw it on a plate, microwave 1 minute, maybe eat like I'll have like a piece of toast or like a
They look good, Joe.
Damn, and then Chuck's throwing it down over there too. I've also, so I highlighted really quick the Vitamix that I have over here as well. I'm actually technically not going to be using it today. Originally, I was going to take popsicles and a little protein smoothie because I like to, tell me what you guys think about this too. I like to take, I'm going to actually bring it over so you guys can see it. I like to take my Vitamix. I like to take, mix my protein smoothie either as like a meal replacement or a post-workout kind of a deal. And throw this bad boy in. But what I like to do with this is be able to make that smoothie, make a little bit of extra. I have popsicle molds for the kids. I throw it into the popsicle molds. I freeze it, but because I add a little bit of plant-based protein or I add a little bit of whey protein, don't go too crazy because I don't want my kids to have too much protein, especially because Tessa has kidney issues and like overly tax her kidneys and her organs having to process all that. But this to me has been such a simple, easy, effective tool. And the cool thing is, like, I learned this from Ashley, even though I know it says it in the thing. You can make soup with this bad boy. She made a tortilla soup that's literally like it's celery, peppers, onions, garlic, and I forgot what the other thing is, but it's like 70 calories per cup. And then we just throw in some either chickpeas for protein or like shredded chicken for protein or having an added protein component to it. And dude, it is so filling and spot on and not crazy on calories.
Mike, I'm glad you said that because I love a Ninja. I personally don't have one, but to, you know, they're one of my favorites, and I'm glad you said that because, yeah, you can make soup in them because they're such a high-speed blender that really get that like blend. You're not gonna have a really grease. Also, another thing, like that's great that you do that. That's another great meal prep thing to have, and also. If you get like some good freezer containers, you can be like a huge batch of soup and then, you know, freeze it in your containers. Not only do you have soup for the week, you've got it in the freezer where you can pull it out in a couple weeks. Like I've got quarts of soup right now in my freezer. It's a great thing to have. Easy meal. And also,
Tessa's joined the party.
Yeah, Tessa keeps saying poopy, like she has a poop, but let's see. I don't think you pooped. No, you didn't poop, girl.
Mike, I don't recommend checking that while you're cooking in the kitchen. I don't, you know, cross-contamination. Come on.
Yeah.
That's a good pro tip.
Cooking for yourself, do whatever you want, but I wouldn't, you know, suggest that you know, do that in the kitchen.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely not, but I meant like I was just doing the sniff test. The sniff test is the, and I know she didn't have a poop. She's like lately.
I don't know.
I think that's a good pro tip though. Don't bring poop into the kitchen, right, Tessa? So one thing that you mentioned, Kelsey, having the ability to have those. So I have some Rubbermaid storage containers. These are the ones that Gina was also talking about before that I'll use for the soups because they're not only oven safe. You can throw them in the oven to reheat them. Obviously, don't use the lid though. The lid's the key part. But you can also throw them in the microwave. You can just hold them and then store them, put them in the fridge, put them in the freezer, heat them up as well. So they're a nice versatile option. You can use for soups and things like that, or just for every regular meal prep, and then throw them in our Life With lunch storage container, and they're ready to go. What do you think, Tessa?
Yeah, you want to say are coming out. Ooh, what's up, chicken thighs?
Ooh, chicken thighs, Tessa. Do you want chicken thighs? No? Oh, okay. So yeah, I feel like it's really coming together. The last thing I've got, y'all, is my pot roast, which I think is going to be done in another 90 minutes. So I don't think we're going to hang around for the pot roast to be done. I'm going to be honest.
Probably not a good idea, Mike. Mine's got another 7 hours to go.
Nice. You want to go outside, Tessa? Tessa wants to go outside and go play in the snow. Do you have snow still near you, Kelsey? Is it all melt yet?
No, I'm looking at the thermometer. It says it's 40 out now. It's like 12 degrees, and I woke up this morning, so I don't know. I've got like little patches of snow. I don't really get a lot of sunlight in the front of my this time of year, so I still have snow from like whatever a week ago when it.
Oh, nice.
So.
If you guys want any, I've got plenty of snow to share with you. We just got dumped on.
Yes, that's just a free workout is what it sounds like.
Area that said they got dumped on.
So now I'm starting to actually layer up my taco bowls. I've got
Tessa can hear you guys now. I put the headphones on her so she could hear.
I've got my white rice, which is super easy to cook. You only need to boil 1 cup of water. As soon as it boils, you take it off the heat, rip open the package of white rice, dump it in there for 12 minutes and take it off of the heat and let it simmer. I'm going to take portions of my white rice and I'm going to layer it down. And then, like again, I'm a little different with my macros versus my wife's macros. Tessa, what do you think? Should I give myself more protein than my wife? What do you think, Tessa?
Tessa, what do you think? Yes or no? No. She says no.
No. So if I do that, Tessa, I'm going to lose a significant amount of muscle mass and I won't end up getting any gain. So can I have more protein than I give my wife?
Can Chuck have more protein than Peanut gets? What do you think? More protein? No. She's like, you know what, Chuck? You're too big. You got to lose some of those gains so that when we have our super fight, I'll be able to beat you even easier. I think that's what she's saying.
Okay. So thank you very much, Tessa, but I am not going to take your advice. So I'm usually giving myself around 7 ounces of protein in each taco bowl, where I'll give Pina about 4 ounces of protein.
Ooh, so almost a 2 to 1. So did you hear what she said, by the way? She heard you say that. She said bye, and she just took the headphones off.
Oh, she just took off? All right. Thanks, Tessa. I appreciate your support, as always.
She's like, whatever, bro. All right, I'm going to check the chat really quick. So the last thing I'm going to highlight, y'all, while we're doing this and kind of bringing it home is the Instapot, since that's going to be using the most amount of time, or be consuming the most amount of time with the rest of our cook time going down here. But it does have 20% off. I'm going to share that with you guys. And I mean, I kind of got all this stuff. I'm wondering, I mean, we could be here all day, so I'm down to hang out, but I figured you guys have we've thrown in an hour. I know we originally were planning for potentially up to 2 hours, but I think we got a lot of stuff done. So I'm going to throw this out there. If you guys want to hang, we can totally hang. If Kelsey, you got to dip or you got to go, or Chuck, you want to focus or go, we could totally do that as well. But I just wanted to send love to you guys and for everyone hanging out with us in the stream, the follows, all the good stuff. I think this is another one, Chuck, will have good data to send you and just prove to you and Kelsey that the people love you guys.
We'll see about that, Mike. I'm curious to see how it goes.
Me too.
Yeah.
So what else do you have, Todd? I feel like you got everything done, right? How's your meal prep looking, Kelsey?
We're good. Pretty much there. But yeah, I always cook off like I really like the white rice too. I recently discovered it. And so I always cook off some of that too to have on. But like I said, I work a lot of second hours, so 4 nights of the week, my dinner is usually at work. I really try to focus more on like breakfast meal, prep and have snacks and like lunches available. So if I'm out of the house really quick, make it work. I've got taking the whole day to not eat. So, yeah, like I said, white rice is pretty awesome.
What's your favorite white rice, Kelsey?
Huh?
What's your favorite one?
So I have the harvest pilaf, which is good. I try to keep like a pretty like neutral. one, so that way I can kind of season it to whatever I'm eating. Like tonight, I'm gonna probably make some like beef curry too, so that will kind of I'll season some of it for that, and then it's kind of like the rice. I've got a bunch of different flavors for whatever is kind of like what I'm making. But I like to keep it like an hour.
All right, let's see if Tessa wants to taste test this French toast. You want the French toast, Tessa? You want some? Oh, yeah, here we go. Let's see what she thinks. Yeah, it's got eggies. Sorry, Kelsey, I just completely shifted gears on us, but let's see Tessa's reaction. Tessa, is it good?
Yeah, did I hear a yucky?
I think I heard yucky.
Is it yucky or eggy? Eggy.
Oh,
eggy.
Is it
For a
good?
second, Mike, I think she was calling you out on your cooking skills.
Yeah, she's like that. She just shook her head and handed the French toast to me.
Not a fan.
Now she's going for another slice of French toast. She'll take one bite and evaluate slice by slice.
That's good.
You want to try that one? You know how that one is.
That's
Yep, that's
So here's
eggies
what
on
we're
it.
looking like. I threw a little bit of cheese on my taco bowl. It's got a layer of the white rice. It's got some ground taco meat. I did some cheese, and I'm sauteing some vegetables. I'm going to add some veggies on top of that, and that's my my homemade taco bowl.
What kind of cheese did you go with, Chuck? Did you go with the cheddar? Did you go with the mousse? Did you go with a blend?
Mike, I went with a Mexican blend.
There we go. That sounds delicious. What, do you need help, Tessa? Tessa, do you want syrup with that? Also, what I'm going to highlight, since we have the French toast and Tessa's digging into it. Also, I see the chat. Sorry, lady, I just missed the whole chat. And Heidi, I heard yucky. Oh, Heidi said she heard yucky too. Dang, Heidi, don't call me out like that.
Heidi, we all heard yucky.
She's saying yes, yucky. Wow. I asked her, is it yucky? She said, yeah, yucky. Now on to homemade cinnamon. Oh, so Lady M's cooking with us as well, but she's making wings. She's making cinnamon rolls. You know what I was thinking, Lady M, by the way? Also, I see, so we got Bengals and Chiefs playing today, and then the Rams and the 49ers, and you seem like you're a Bengals fan. Yeah, there's Eggies on there, too. So, all right, yeah, Bengals. I didn't realize the Bengals are in the playoffs. I guess they're a good team now. I haven't watched football in so long. But I was thinking, too, in future, like, we'll do this once a month maybe, and then if you guys really like this, we could do it somewhat more often. But I figured once a month will be a nice, realistic way to integrate this. And I was thinking, so you mentioned homemade cinnamon rolls. What do you guys think about we could take some of the most popular requests or favorite, like, meals and desserts, and then putting a swap alternative spin to it, saying, hey, how can we take cinnamon rolls, for example, maybe add a little bit of fiber, add a little bit of protein, swap out some of the flavoring, lower the calories, or some variation of that can make it fun and exciting. Sorry, I'm legally blind. It's all good, Heidi. I'm just messing with you.
It's a good idea. Has anybody ever tried to make a cinnamon roll with almond flour? No?
Oh, no.
I've done a gluten-free one before, but the problem with gluten-free flours, sometimes they actually are starchier than wheat flours. I wouldn't really say it's healthier. Well, Doug, to do that, we can do a baking one. I have a peanut butter cookie, grain-free, pretty protein we could do. Yeah, it's a good one.
The baking edition? I like it.
Yeah. And then Tessa, here, pick this French toast. Look, Tessa's eating it now, even though apparently it's yucky. Somehow she's eating it. Now, what I did want to share with you guys is I have the sugar-free Mrs. Butterworth. Now, I'm not always saying that sugar-free is going to be the best option because sometimes what they're going to use to replace the sugar can be sugar or alcohol that may or may not be what's best. It can impact our microbiome. It can still have an impact on our blood sugar response, our insulin response, but it can save us on calories. So it's kind of one of those things you got to weigh out what you think is best for you. So Tessa, that's hot. So Tessa's telling me the stove is hot, even though technically it's not really hot, but yeah, we don't touch that, right? You want to go eat this French toast with some syrup? Yeah? Okay, so Tessa's going to come over to the table. He's going to have some. So I have the sugar-free syrup highlighted in my carrots. If you guys do want to save a little bit of calories, I actually use that for my muffins as well. So you can sit right here and you can eat the French toast. So I'll actually make like protein muffins, and instead of using like syrup or whatnot, regular syrup with higher sugar, I'll use the sugar-free just to help lower calories. Oh, you want the chickpeas?
When you're using those sugar replacers, you know, like you said, you use the low sugar syrup. Even using like natural like syrup, like real syrup or honey. We're in the South, so
yeah.
Like even though that's sugary, that's like a natural thing. So especially honey that has properties, especially in local honey, it's for allergies. Definitely springtime, I'll start with the honey to help those like not get my ass swollen by ragweed. Yeah, those are always great to using like a lot of sugars and everything.
I think that's a great point too, is the locally sourced honey. Because then you're supporting local, but then you're also getting from an allergy component some of the dynamics there to help local or with like pollen and allergies and things along those lines.
It's also really good for your immune system, and that's kind of what helps to against the seasonal allergies. So it's always something that I always try to add into just a little bit each day that just can really help your overall health. And it's not, you don't really need a lot because it is so sweet, so it's like a little bit of a way.
Great point. Great point all around. And then Tessa's really digging these chickpeas, by the way.
She like them? Is she eating them?
So you like the chickpeas? Do you want chickpeas or do you want French toast? Do you want both?
Both.
You want both? Okay. Yeah, she's liking them. Tessa approved.
So that's not yucky, is what we're going with.
Tessa, are either of these yucky?
Yucky.
This is yucky. The chickpeas are yucky?
Yeah.
Oh, the French toast is, yeah, she's still going back to French toast is yucky, but she's still going to eat it. I appreciate it. Even though it's yucky.
I just like the fact that she's holding you accountable to your cooking.
Yeah, she's like, listen, Dad, I'm going to be honest with you. This is garbage.
I saw.
Yeah, it's okay, Bubby. Well, I'm going to turn the camera just ever so slightly. Hopefully this doesn't mess anything up. So you guys will be able to see her just a bit more. There we go. Now you can kind of see Tessa's head here as she's chowing on some toast and some chickpeas. But yeah, y'all, I mean, again, I appreciate everybody hanging out with us. I'm checking the chat. Lady M's getting football prep going. I didn't even realize that there's also playoffs right now. So shout out to all the football fans doing that. Now I could have even done like a specialty with like using the air fryer toaster, using your wings in there, saving on calories, and then doing like a buffalo dip. We can do our own versions of that, opting for different types of things. So we're definitely going to continuously, again, come in and check with that. So for you guys that haven't subscribed, so first off, follow if you're not following already. It's greatly appreciated. But also, if you want to go to lifestyleoffitness.com, sign up for our newsletter. We send out a weekly newsletter that'll keep you up to date for when, if Coach Kelsey's going live, if Chuck's getting his own Amazon channel going, he has his social media. We'll be plugging everyone's stuff. And then if we have weekly workouts, our monthly schedule for the meal prep, plus when our podcast is dropping, you'll get all that good stuff. But I feel like that's all the fun we got, y'all. Chuck is going to keep meal prepping for hours. I've got the Instapot going for another hour and a half or an hour and 20 minutes. So I figure we'll leave it at that. Kelsey, thank you again for joining. Chuck, thank you again for joining and holding it down. And shout out to Gina, by the way, for moderating and hanging with us while she could before Logan was getting all up in it. And then Heidi's saying, I use a little powdered sugar on my French toast and taught the kids to do that so I wouldn't overload with syrup like my nieces and nephews. You know if that's better or worse. So here's the thing. With powdered sugar, that's still going to – I would have to look at calorie per calorie. But, like, powdered sugar might be one of those things that depending on how much you're using, it may be a better option. And it kind of depends on what's important to you because there still is that sugar component. But I would still go with, like, Kelsey, to your point, adding a little bit of honey. Locally sourced honey I think could be a great option. And then, Lady M, you're saying, I'm making my wings on the Presto countertop grill. Nice. We're not getting those added calories as well. So just throwing that out there as well. But
well, with that your comment. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that. I always say, like, if I'm gonna have like waffles or I'm gonna have like pancakes, you know, like when that huge storm and everyone's gonna snow, scared of a foot of snow in the south. We're like, yeah, let's do pancakes. And of course, we're gonna have syrup with it. We're not overboard. Counterbalancing it, maybe instead of drowning it in syrup, and sugar, go with like butter, almond butter on there, some fresh fruit too. And it just kind of helps balance it out. Get a little bit of sugar on there. That's fine.
Mike, when's the last time you actually saw one of my children?
Dude, it's been at least 2-3 years.
Look
Oh,
at
what's
this
up, Mello? Oh, what's up, man? Hey! Hi, guys. Good to see you.
Ava's still under the I don't want to comb my hair, so this is the outcome of that all the time.
Dude, at least you have hair not to comb. Or at least she has hair not to comb, right?
That's true.
I think, hey, Ava, I think it looks great either way. So just take that with a grain of salt.
Mike said you should go upstairs and comb your hair.
That's, that's exactly what I said.
Oh, she's scolding you, Mike.
She's like, no, Mike. Ava, I'm sorry that I'm getting thrown under the bus, but I'll be the bad guy in representation of Chuck. Chuck, I had a dream about this last night. This is going to sound weird. So I had a dream. I was over at your house, and we were playing video games, and Carmelo asked me something. He's like, hey, can I play this game that Mike brought? And I was like, I don't know. It's up to your dad. And you said, no, I'm sure Mike doesn't want to be bothered with that. And then internally I was thinking, is that my cue to say no and support what Chuck said? Or is that an opportunity for me to say, no, I don't mind, and you're just trying to feel me out? And I literally had a dream where I was in turmoil about what is Chuck trying to tell me right now with that statement?
Yeah, it's probably Mike doesn't want to be bothered by this.
So I don't know. It was just an interesting cue of what I thought was being interpreted there. Also, what I wanted to just say is I highlighted the camera I'm using before, and I highlighted it again. I didn't really talk about it throughout the whole stream, but if you guys noticed, it's just like the better quality over the last couple months with the camera I've been using. It's the Sony a6000. Shout out to you for getting me to get this camera. I think it's just a nice high quality 4K. But here's the interesting thing, Chuck. Chuck, you're using your iPad?
Yeah, it's just an iPad Pro. I'm using my iPad, but I do have to get that motion tracking camera that you were talking about the other day, especially if you're in the gym.
Oh,
but I'm just using my iPad and a set of AirPods.
And honestly, it looks good. So, and Kelsey, what are you using? Are you using your phone?
Yeah. What's the new? I have 13.
What is it?
Whatever the new iPhone is, it's 13, right?
Yeah, I think it's the 13. So that's the cool thing too. What I will highlight is with the iPhones and the new cameras, like they're such good quality. They'll shoot like 4K or 8K even, I think. So I'm not saying you guys have to break the bank, and going out and buying an extra camera. I just wanted to share you guys different options. You can kind of see what it shoots. Also, the lens that I have is slightly different than Chuck and Kelsey's as far as like the range it's shooting in and some of the lighting components. So I wanted you guys to see that. And then I also have highlighted what Chuck was mentioning I talked about yesterday is the OBS phone-mounted motion tracking system. So you can actually mount your phone onto the stand and it'll motion track and move with you. So if you have that, like Kelsey has the new iPhone 13, that quality camera. Chuck has his iPhone. You can use that nice camera and leverage that. So you don't have to buy an extra 4K camera if you don't want to. That's not something you're trying to do. And then Heidi said in the comments, Heidi, I saw you said something. Let's see what Heidi said. She said, she's beautiful even without combed. It's a Sunday with lots of snow outside. Let her enjoy lazy day. So Chuck, Heidi says you got to let Ava, she looks beautiful by the way, and that you got to let her enjoy a lazy Sunday. She doesn't have to worry about combing her hair.
All right, I'm not saying you slide this time, but she also has to go to musical theater, and she's going to be doing this performance. So, yeah, usually I'll let her do a lazy Sunday and get away with it, but I'm waiting for the person that cuts my hair actually said, wait, there's going to be a transition between when she doesn't want to comb her hair, which is this stage now, to her being in the bathroom every 5 minutes. And I'm okay because I have a couple of different bathrooms here. Carmelo may not be happy with it, but go in the bathroom, hang out, do your hair, come out looking like a normal human being.
Exactly. Get prepared for the day. Tessa, you good? You want some more seltzer? Tessa's breathing pretty heavy, like she's like just like laboring through eating this French toast like it's a task.
Is she excited about it, or is she just laboring through it because she doesn't want to really eat it?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell. She's like continuously taking bites, but she's like, oh, I guess I have to do this for Dad. You don't have to keep eating. You could get down if you want. No, you want to keep eating? That's okay. Okay. I just want to make sure. But yeah, y'all. So that's like all the fun. Again, we appreciate you guys. I'll let you guys go. I'm going to shut down on all the platforms. And again, Kelsey, Chuck, Gina, everybody, thank you for doing this. We'll be back. We'll be back next month and doing this again. We'll be back on a monthly basis. We're trying to open up where we have, again, more coach integration on Lifestyle of Fitness channel as well as on this channel on the Coach Mike. So go support y'all. And I hope you guys have a great Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Everybody stay safe out there. If it's in New York, be careful with the snow. Everybody have a good day. Kelsey, thanks for joining us and giving us some insight. Mike, all I'm going to leave you with is yucky. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for hosting today. I'll take care, guys.
Yeah, y'all. Yes, Heffa.
Pina's saying goodbye, too.
All right, hold on. I'm going to go into the other room because I have to exit out of the broadcast from the other room, so I'll be back. Tessa, come with me. Come on, Tessa, Bubby. Yeah.
That was my garlic fruit.